Hey guys, welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host, Andre Seegers, and this time we're joined by Derek Binder and Ash Paulson to discuss our final predictions for the Nintendo Switch presentation happening January 12th. So let's get started. Guys, can you believe it? We are less than 60 hours out, considerably less probably by this point, from the Switch event. It is happening, it's happening soon. Oh my god. How are you guys feeling, real quick, about it coming up? Are you hyped through the roof right now? What's your current mental state about this?
I think it's actually very similar to my typical mental state for directs, where there's that excitement to see what's going to be shown, but also just the abject fear of having to cover it all.
Yeah.
And knowing just, oh god, I hope I don't miss this. Oh god, I hope I don't miss that. I hope I'm able to keep up with everything. It's going to be insane.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much feeling the same way. I mean, it's super exciting as a fan, but in terms of all the coverage we're going to be doing and everything there's going to be to cover, it's a little nerve-wracking, but my hype thrusters are at full throttle. I'm ready to go in, let's do it. Let's go in, and come what may, we'll see what happens, but I'm really excited.
That's a good way of putting it. Like, my hype thrusters are on maximum overdrive too, but I've got my foot on the brake as well because of that, the whole work aspect, right? So yeah, so it's exciting, but also I'm fearful of what's going to happen. not for Nintendo, just for my general how I deal with everything happening.
We're gonna die.
Yeah, God, basically. I already feel like that. I'm already exhausted. It hasn't even started yet. I don't even know what's happening to me. So I think my body's just breaking
times.
down. Yep. So I think we have a lot of predictions to go through. And we'll probably, I think we'll do it how we normally do. We'll take turns giving one after the other. I'm sure we have a lot of redundant predictions here. But before we get to our individual ones, I think I want to get to two of the ones that I'm sure we have some common ground on, being price and release date. So let's start off with price real quick. What are you guys expecting for them to announce a Switch coming in at?
I mean, it really depends on whether there's multiple SKUs, as people are predicting, or not. Because otherwise, I think the basic package will probably be about $250 with a bundle package, or maybe in a better version coming in at $300. But I'm expecting the baseline to be around $250. I can't imagine it being much lower than that.
Yeah, I mean, at the risk of sounding boring, I completely echo what Derek just said. I don't think it can come in below $250 because Kimishima has said that they're not going to be selling the Switch at a loss. So I think going too far underneath $250 doesn't make too much sense. And it really does depend on if there are two SKUs or not. And I think there will be. I think the basic one's going to be $250, and I think the bundle, or maybe a little more storage, some better version SKU is going to be $300. That's my official prediction.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to continue being boring here then, because I agree. I think 250 is a lock. It seems like everything seems to be lining up for that. It makes sense. I think 300 would be definitely pushing the price. Anything above that they'd be DOA. So I think 250 is it. I don't see it coming in any lower. But I will spice things up a little bit, because I will go against, I think, one of our previous discussions, and I'm reverting back to what I thought initially. I think there's only going to be one SKU, or one SKU. I think they're only going to have one of them. I think they want to keep it simple. Think they want to keep the messaging on point. I think there's only going to be one of them, and it's going to be $250.
That's not a bad idea, too, because, again, it causes confusion. Which one do I get? Do I get the better version? In the case of the Wii U, obviously the black Wii U ended up selling way better because, well, it actually had some storage space on it. So
right.
Hopefully they're not in a situation like that where they just know, okay, here is the version that just everybody's going to play and use. But do you think there's going to be a pack-in or not in that case?
The only way there could be a pack-in is if, and this kind of spoils one of my upcoming predictions, is if there is a, Wii Sports or Nintendo Land type game there, like a new IP that we haven't seen before. That's the only way I see there being a pack-in. Otherwise, no.
So you're not lending any credence to the rumor that Splatoon might be a pack-in?
The more I thought about it, the more I'm not buying that. I could see that done on a store level. I don't expect Splatoon to be a pack-in. So yeah, I'm actually going against the current rumor mill.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to say whether they're going to have two separate SKUs or not. I mean, the Wii U had the problem where, as he said, no one bought the basic bundle very few people did, because it had so little onboard storage. So either Nintendo just needs to keep it simple and have one SKU, or have the basic SKU at least have enough storage that people will actually consider it a viable option.
Yeah, I expect there to be enough storage to be viable. I'm not expecting a lot of storage. I'm expecting them to depend on SD cards again. There have already been the reports of having a micro SD card slot. I'm sure that's the case. even though apparently the capacity of those may not be super great. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here, but I do see them, depending more on the SD card slot than anything else at this point. So yeah, I am kind of expecting them just to keep it simple, one SKU. All right. With that out of the way, one more general rumor I want to cover before we move on to our specific predictions. Release date. Do you guys have a specific date in mind for when they'll drop this?
It's hard to, because it could be any time of the.
Yeah, pick one.
I'll go with the rumors in that case. I think March 17th sounds reasonable. I don't know if they're right, but it sounds reasonable enough. It's definitely going to be March. There's no question about that. But March 17th, middle of the month, I can definitely see that happening and working.
Yeah, I'm torn between the 17th and the 24th, but I'm going to go with the 17th. I think the rumors vis-a-vis the release date are correct. I think March 17th is going to be it. By that measure, 2 million sold by the end of the month might be a slightly conservative estimate, and that might be why Nintendo chose this date, if they do, because I would say the Switch is likely to break 2 million by the end of the month, just based on Nintendo fans alone. Mm-hmm. So hopefully it does, because if it doesn't, if it releases the 17th and it still doesn't break 2 million by the end of the month, that's not a good sign. So I'm gonna say March 17th.
All right, yeah, you said exactly how I would have, Ash. I mean, I totally agree on March 17th. I think it's between the 17th and the 24th. 17th is where I would put my money. Any earlier, and that 2 million figure starts to look a lot less impressive. So
exactly.
Yeah, totally agreed. All right, so now that we covered the basic, somewhat boring stuff, let's get to our specific predictions. I'll go and start off here with a somewhat obvious one, but I'll spice up a little bit. So there's been a lot of rumors about Zelda over the past few months, including its kind of dubious place in whether it'll be a launch title in Europe or not. Recently, though, it seems like things are lining up for it to be a launch title, at least in US or Japan. So I'm going to throw it out there. Zelda Breath of the Wild is a launch title for the Switch worldwide, including Europe.
I hope you're right. I actually think it's going to be a launch title too. I just don't know about Europe, and I'm going to feel terrible for our European friends if it is not a launch title there. But I can't imagine that Nintendo Europe would want to take that hit. I mean, that's kicking the hornet's nest right there, to give the rest of the world Breath of the Wild, and except for Europe, I don't think they can afford to do that.
No, it needs to happen. I mean, it makes no sense for them to not have a worldwide relaunch for something that they've been building up for so long, especially with the current ramp up that's going on, and it makes very little sense. Now the question is, if it does release in Europe, do you think it'll have every language available, or do you think they're going to patch in the later ones later as time goes on?
If they don't have all the languages there from the start, they'll patch it in. Obviously, but I'm saying they would release a game before having all the languages ready if they have to. I really do think it'll be a massive blunder not to have Zelda day and date with the system. Especially, this is a game you probably want to go in. Nintendo's done a good job of not showing too much of this game yet. And who knows, it might change on the 12th. But, I think people will be very upset if they can see streams of people playing the game in US and Japan, or, basically everywhere, except in Europe. I feel like there's no way they can miss it. So, no matter what, day one, it'll have a patch to fix anything that's not there from shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're going to patch in the rest of the language after the fact. I think they know they need to get in on the ground floor with Zelda in every region, and that's just exciting to even consider, because for a long time, I had at least convinced myself that Zelda was not going to make launch, and so to me, it feels exciting and new again, wow, we really might be playing this game at launch. So I'm super excited about that.
How couldn't you be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Zelda,
it's crazy, because I was like Ash. I was reserved. I was waiting for maybe the summer, but more likely the fall, and to have it at launch, that's pretty nuts. And it's good to be an American if the whole European thing doesn't work out. But as you said, I cannot imagine them not releasing it in Europe at the same time, especially if I'm going to go off of one of my predictions real quick. I think the Switch will be region free. So if it's region free and it comes out in the States, it's going to get imported like crazy to European Switch gamers.
Well, I'm going to bandwagon on that rumor, or on that prediction real quick. I totally agree it'll be Switch free. Or Switch free, Jesus. That's a sleepiness game to me. I totally agree it'll be region free. But the eShop won't be. That will be locked to whichever region you set your system to.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I completely agree. I'll bandwagon with the bandwagoner. Definitely. The Switch, I think, is going to be region free. There have been too many rumors indicating that to kind of dismiss that, and it seems like Nintendo has been listening where that is concerned.
I mean, plus, they have to be. The whole idea of the Switch is you can literally play it anywhere, however you want. Having it be regional locked goes completely against that idea. So they really do have to make a region free at this point, and that would be right in line with all their handhelds minus the 3DS. All right, Ash, what's your prediction?
All right, I'm going all in right out of the gate. Here's a big one, and this is hopefully the last time I ever have to predict this. Mother 3, it's going to be there. I think it's going to happen. I'm just going to go right out and say it. Mother 3 is going to be announced for the Switch Virtual Console. It will not be a launch game. It'll be a launch window title. I'm thinking maybe somewhere May, April, somewhere around there, maybe June. But I do think it's going to be announced for the Switch Virtual Console. I think it was going to be released on Wii U, and they just held it back because the Wii U is dead. So it's going to be there. Take it to the bank. I hope I'm right. I really hope I'm right.
I had that as our prediction too. I said in my notes that that Mother 3 was going to be shown, but they're not going to give a release date. It's like, it's coming, and we're going to figure out a date. I don't even know if it'll make release window. I hope it does, but I think feeling like it's coming, but it's not ready yet. That'd be my guess.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I will go against the grain, though. Even though I really hope I'm wrong, and I hope the rumors are right, I do think Mother 3 is coming. I'm not sure it will be announced at this event. I just feel like they may want to focus on what's new and not what's in the past, even though Mother 3 is, in a way, new to, us. But,
exactly, but this is a Japanese presentation.
That is a great point, actually. So
that actually is a good point.
So yeah, I'm not quite feeling Mother 3 here yet. But again, I'd be happy to be wrong, but I do think it is coming no matter what at some point.
Yeah, that's why I predicted that it's going to be shown, but not a date given, because it's to Japan, it's be like, whatever, but hey, here's Game Boy Advance games coming to the Switch, including Mother 3 for Japan, and maybe it'll say worldwide release, and that's our little tease for how it's actually going to happen.
Remember, the Mother 3 developers have been confirmed to be attending the Switch conference, and there is the Treehouse stuff after the Switch conference that they could also announce things on.
You beat me to it. I was thinking of the Treehouse too, exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of like they did E3 this year. Or this past year.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, my next prediction, Zelda Wii U will be delayed. Slightly. Not by much, but I do think they're going to mimic the Wii setup, or Wii situation, where all the focus will be on Zelda Switch. They don't want anything competing with that. And Zelda Wii U will come out maybe 2 or 3 weeks later. I will amend that, though. There's one other alternative, and that is either it's delayed or it has an extremely limited release, such as being only on the eShop at first.
That I could see them doing that. I mean, wow, that's going to piss off the few people out there who really just want to buy it for Wii U. But yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah.
I can't disagree with that. I mean, nothing about that sounds off, because obviously they are going to want to have the focus on the Switch and not the Wii U. And while most people will be focusing on that, the people who have the Wii U are like, I don't feel like upgrading it. They can just get the Wii U version. So, but if you want to play it right away, you have to get the Switch version. That makes a lot of sense to me.
It does, especially if there aren't any really appreciable differences between the two versions. I mean, obviously we think the Switch version is going to run better, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be like a major graphical difference between the two. So, yeah, Derek, you put it perfectly. If you want to play Zelda on launch day, you have to get the Switch version. That makes sense. It's a little underhanded, but it makes sense.
I mean, it's Nintendo's no stranger to being underhanded. So
yeah, I mean, that's business for you.
Exactly. Well, I want to. One of my next prediction is actually going to be about the presentation itself, and I actually think that this is going to be an extremely dry presentation. Don't expect any cute skits or anything like that we saw out of E3 or any of the directs. It's going to be kind of like the presentations of old, like on E3 and the old E3s and whatnot. I think this is going to be just very business oriented, like let's get this stuff out there, let's show what it's all about. It's not going to be funny, it's not going to have any skits like that. They might do a few humorous things here and there, but it's going to be basically let's get this info out.
I mean, I think there might be some unintentional humor, like in terms of trailers they might show, like, in terms of like, how Nintendo marketing, like the Switch trailer, the reveal trailer had its goofy moments because Nintendo marketing is just kind of goofy. But I agree. I don't think this is going to be a direct type thing where, where with Nintendo execs popping jokes and laughing. I think it's going to be like kind of like Jimmy Fallon, where like Nintendo has shown that their messaging with the Switch is on point so far, and I think they want to continue that, and they want to use whatever time they have, an hour, however long it ends up being, to get the message out there, get in, get out, and be clear.
Get in, get out. Nice. Well played.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how dry you think they'll go. I mean, I do expect it to be on the drier side, definitely drier than a Nintendo Direct, but I don't expect it to be as dry as like early 2000 press conferences were sometimes, where they go into like the numbers, how many units they've sold, for instance.
Yeah.
I do expect them to stick mostly to, or to have, focus on the trailers and gameplay. So I don't think. So yeah, I guess it'll be dry, but I don't think it'll be boring. I guess that's what I'm getting at. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Dry,
No,
not
I didn't
boring.
say it was going to be boring, but it's
Right.
also not going to be like, let's have fun. It's
Yeah.
going to be, we're going to sell you this.
Yep, that's totally fair. All right, my next prediction. So there have been rumblings, or I think in the patents as well, that there could be Joy-Con alternatives that you can connect to the Switch. That probably is true, especially knowing Nintendo's joy of using Joy-Cons, yeah. Especially knowing how much they like using plastic accessories. I predict none of those will be shown here, though. I think they wanted the focus to be on the Switch. I think they're so focused on the messaging, they don't want to confuse anyone on what comes with the package or how the controllers work. So I predict it'll be the Switch, no accessories shown, beyond the ones they've already announced.
I can't really say anything against that. I don't think they're going to have we can have all these different combinations of controllers, or these special ones that you can pick up. It's like, no, here is the Joy-Cons, here's the Pro Controller, maybe here's a thing that you can hook up for your car, but otherwise it's all cut and dry about what they're going to show. It's not going to be anything crazy.
Right.
Yeah, and this is kind of a gimme. I'll just piggyback onto that with a mini prediction, but I don't think there's going to be any sort of VR presence at the show. I mean, that seems obvious, but some people seem to think there could be a chance because of, I guess, there's some data that was found vis-a-vis VR on the Switch, but I don't think it's going. I think they're future-proofing themselves just in case VR really does take off, but I don't expect to see anything VR-related at the Switch event.
100% agreed.
Yeah, totally. Not buying it.
Okay, so my next prediction, I don't know if it'll be a pack-in, for, depends on if there are multiple SKUs, but I do think Splatoon is going to be a launch title. I don't know what it's going to be called, Splatoon 2, Splatoon Remix, but I do think Splatoon is going to be there at launch.
That's a tough
I know,
one.
it's bold. I don't know, I'm not 100% confident, but I just have this feeling that Splatoon's going to make it, but there's another game that I don't think is going to make it as a result. At launch, and that's Mario Kart 8. I think it's going to be launch window. It's going to have the new tracks and characters and stuff, but I don't think it's going to be launch. I want to say it'll come out within the launch window, though.
All right, well, I will piggyback off that, and I will give the exact opposite prediction then. Nice. If anything, I expect Mario Kart to be a launch and Splatoon to come shortly after, during, I guess the summer months, much as it did the first time. For whatever reason, I'm picturing Mario Kart as a launch title. That game was huge on Wii and Wii U, especially relative to the hardware base. And I think having that game at launch, especially with it potentially not being it's not going to be a brand new game. It is a port largely. I think it makes sense for that to be at launch. Plus, it's a multiplayer game, so that's. I mean, Splatoon is as well. But this is a good local multiplayer game as well.
But not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with anything you're saying, and I could easily see it being switched. Switched. From the Switch reveal trailer, this is, I guess, somewhat anecdotal, but it seemed like we saw more evidence of Splatoon being further along with some of the new elements than we did Mario Kart 8.
Well, so that's why I'm kind of thinking the opposite, because it looks like they're putting more work into Splatoon than they are with Mario Kart 8.
That's a good point too. Yeah, it depends on where you look at it from. Okay.
Yeah, it really that's the thing. If Splatoon isn't a pack-in, I can totally see them going with another May release like they did for the original. Mm-hmm. If it is a pack-in, it's totally obviously it's a launch title. Mario Kart 8, I'm kind of with Andre. I could definitely see that as more of a launch title, just because here's our big multiplayer game. It really shows off the multiplayer possibilities of. The Switch, like how we saw with the basketball game, or even just playing in the car with Mario Kart 8. I think they can really show all the different ways you can use the Switch in multiplayer, and Mario Kart 8 is a prime example of them being able to show that off. So that's why it gets the edge a little bit in my mind.
Yeah.
So either way, though, all three of us think that one of those two games will make launch.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Not even a question. Hey, it's possible both could. Nintendo. I forget how many first-party games that we launched with. I want to say 3. I know the GameCube launched with 4, as I recall. So if they do something similar here, there might be some overlap. I mean, obviously, there's going to be Zelda. The question is what mix of the other games we potentially know about are there going to be? Real quick though, I'm gonna. Might as well just piggyback off that rumor again, or that prediction. I keep calling them rumors. We've got our moniker rumor explained. Jesus. Next prediction, though, speaking of Mario Kart, it's going to have, I think, according to the rumors, 16 new tracks, a battle mode, And I'll go one step farther. This one's going to have Switch in the name. It's going to have some like Switch pun, which will appeal to me personally. And just to reiterate, it will be a launch title, in my opinion.
I can't go against that. I mean, it definitely could happen. I mean, I believe the rumor as well, where they're going to expand upon the original Mario Kart 8, add in more tracks and whatnot, as well as have all the DLC previously. As far as the name, I could tell Mario Kart 8 Switch Up or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, or they could just do the usual Nintendo thing and go super dry with the name and be like Mario Kart 8 for Switch, or like New Mario Kart 8. It won't be New Mario Kart 8, but like Mario Kart 8 for Switch or something. I hope they do something cooler than that though. Like I want it to be, I don't know, Mario Kart 8 Final Lap or Mario Kart 8 Plus, or just something that's not Mario Kart 8 Switch. I know that's what they're known for. They love to put their system titles in their games. Like that's probably what it'll be, but I hope not.
I don't think it will be. I do think we'll get a silly, dumb name for it. Like Derek said, Switch Up or something along those lines.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it just seems to fit Mario Kart so well. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm picturing. So especially because Mario Kart 8 is already a bland name, so it'd be good to spice it up a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, that'd be helpful.
Yep.
I agree with everything you said, Andre. The only thing it seems like 16 new tracks. As much as I want to believe it, that seems like it's just a little aggressive. After all, we already got the DLC tracks, and now 16 whole new tracks, plus a battle mode, plus new characters. I mean, it could certainly happen, and I'm not saying I don't think it will. It just seems like that's maybe a little pie in the sky.
Maybe not 16, but I could definitely see at least 8.
Yeah. I think 8 for sure. Yeah.
Well, that's only 4 new Grand Prix, which is compared to the 12 they have currently, I think. So that's only if you count the DLC. So that'd only be
they have 16.
third of the new tracks, or a third new track.
That's true,
right?
Yeah.
It's just, I guess, because it already seems like we have so many tracks. It seems like an embarrassment of riches. But I mean, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
It just seems like one of those like things that it would be really cool to hope for. But maybe 16 seems a bit many. But hey, I mean, I could very well be wrong there. Either way, there's definitely going to be new tracks. It's just a matter of how many.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. Well, my next prediction is all about trophies or achievements or whatever Nintendo might call them. Except I don't think they're going to add them in unless they tie it in with My Nintendo and have a way for to earn the platinum coins and all that stuff. I don't see them having achievements and trophies for their own sake. It's definitely going to be tied in to the My Nintendo program. Whether or not they're going to have as wide a breadth of options as far as achievements as a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One game, that's really hard to say. But we already see achievement-like things in
their mobile games
with Super Mario Run and Miitomo, where you have these things that you can do, whether daily or just one time, and they, for all intents and purposes, are kind of trophies, even though they're extremely simple. So yeah, I don't see trophies or achievements happening unless they're having a big push for My Nintendo all of a sudden, and here's all this stuff and ways you can earn coins and actual stuff to make it worthwhile to care about My Nintendo.
I completely agree. I don't think they're going to jump on the achievement/trophy bandwagon unless there's a big My Nintendo push. It just doesn't seem like a very Nintendo thing to do. They haven't really hinted that they're interested in doing that anyway, that I know of, and it just doesn't seem like it's something that they would do. I mean, they might, but I think they're going to keep the achievements at the game level, like Mario Party 10's achievements, for example. They'll still continue to do stuff like that, but I'm not expecting achievements at the system-wide level.
Yeah, I actually agree with all that. I think achievements will be there, but only on a per-game basis, much as we have for the mobile games. I think that kind of offers a peek of what they plan to do with the Switch. Unfortunately, I don't really care about them. I mean, I guess that's fine. I can just ignore them. I hate My Nintendo, though. I hate everything about it. I hate how it works. I hate the fact there's 3 different coins. It's a mess. I hate the fact the coins expire. Who thought that was a good idea? It's a mess. Seriously. It's a complete mess. I have no interest in it. They feel like work. With Miitomo or, rewarding you for coming back every day. It's screw you, Miitomo. I don't want to touch you every day.
My Nintendo sucks, full stop.
It does. It's terrible. It's an objectively worse program than Club Nintendo was, and that was already a poor program, too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do think they'll be there. I don't think it'll be system-wide, though. I don't think Nintendo has really any interest in that. All right, Ash, your next prediction.
All right, my faith in this next prediction has been shaken somewhat with the recent release of Super Mario Run, but I still believe in it, and I don't think there are going to be friend codes on the Switch. I think they're going to keep or keep what they did with the Wii U and hopefully improve it further and not require any sort of crazy friend codes. But then again, I thought friend codes are gone, and suddenly now you need them in Super Mario Run. So I really, really hope Nintendo's learned that no one likes friend codes, at least for the Switch. Like, please don't have friend codes in this damn system. Please don't.
To Super Mario Run's credit, it's only one of several ways you can befriend someone. You can use like Twitter or Facebook as well. The problem with Super Mario Run is that they're still not using a central friend list. Why in the hell is that not a thing yet? I have separate friends in Miitomo, I have separate friends in Mario Run. Like, it got to the point where I'm tired of entering friends. I don't want to do it anymore. So they need to figure that out. I'd be cool if they have like a master list for your main friends, and they have a secondary per game list. Like in Miitomo, like Ash, you befriended a bunch of people in Miitomo. You probably don't want to see in any other game.
Nope.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So I think they should do it that way. But I don't want to befriend people again. It's so annoying. Like, it's such an annoying process. But by the time you befriend everyone you want to anyway, a lot of them aren't even playing the game anymore. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not good, and hopefully they find some way to just make it easier and actually just, hey, they want to be my friend? Sure, there you go, we're friends.
I mean, the Wii U did, I think, as I remember, a pretty decent job. Like, it was a universal friend list. They just need that to carry over. Like, don't tie it to a system anymore. Tie it to your account. You log with your account no matter what system you're on, and your friends are always there, even on mobile.
And what do you know? They have a thing called My Nintendo where you can do that kind of thing, theoretically. Except they're not doing that, so...
Yeah. I will combine two predictions here because one's kind of boring. I think they will focus primarily on their year one lineup. And by that, even more specifically, the first 9 months. I think they'll give us a good idea of what to expect for the rest of the year. I don't think they'll show off too much beyond that. They might tease a game or two. I really expect them to focus mostly on the lineup this year. And as part of that, because that's kind of boring, I think we kind of touched on this already, but Super Smash Bros. For the Switch will be announced there. It will be called Super Smash Bros. For the Switch. It will have a new CG trailer, like they've done for big character reveals before, because they will be announcing at least 2 new characters here. I think, for sure, guaranteed, one of them is going to be Inkling. The other, a lot of people have been expecting Ice Climbers. I wouldn't be surprised. I expect both of them, wherever they are, to be in the trailer. And I ultimately expect there to be more than just 2 new characters, but I don't expect them all to be announced at this event.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go against the grain on this one with you, and I don't think Smash is going to make an appearance at the event on Thursday.
Ooh.
I actually think Smash feels like it's further off, and it feels like it's not going to be a launch window title. I feel like it's going to be a holiday title, and for that reason, I don't think they're going to talk about it. I think they maybe we'll get a logo, and maybe we'll get like proof of life, like, hey, we're working on Smash. But
that is how they announce every Smash game. Hey, by the way, we're
yeah. I mean, but I genuinely don't think we're going to get a trailer. I don't think we're going to get any character announcements or anything like that. I don't think we're going to get any information about Smash yet. I think we will later in the year, around E3 time. But no, I actually don't think Smash is going to be at this event in any meaningful way.
I'd agree with Ash. I agree with you, Andre, that they're going to be focusing on the stuff within the first 6 to 9 months, but I don't know if Smash is going to be included within that. I mean, if it is holiday, then yes, it would be included in that lineup, but I think E3 is maybe a better time for it, even though, I mean, let's be honest, people around the world are going to be keeping their eyes on this event, so maybe it is the best time to show off Super Smash Switch. And do everything else, but whether or not we get a full trailer or not, that's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I do agree with you that though when they announce a new character or new characters, Inkling will be among them. It just makes too much sense. I absolutely predict Inkling will be one of the new characters in Smash.
Guaranteed. E3 is actually kind of what throws some things off potentially, because that is also where Nintendo likes to make big announcements. But they have a system release coming up just a few months before. So I feel like they may hold back on holding back on their big guns, or rather, they won't hold back on holding back their big guns. I think they want people to be excited for the Switch itself. They want people to know what's coming. I think E3 will be the time to flesh out what they announce at this event, but I don't know it's a time to really be holding back on big announcements.
Well, that's why I think Ash might be onto something where they just show, hey, we're working on Super Smash Bros. Switch. Hey, we're working on Pikmin 4, and then E3 comes around. By the way, here's Pikmin 4. Here's what it looks like. Here's Super Smash Bros. Switch, and here's the Inkling and the Ice Climbers as a character or something like that. I think it's a good time to say we're working on these games at this event, but maybe not fully show them off until E3.
Although, to play devil's advocate, let's say Well, yeah, against myself. Let's say we predict that Ice Climbers and Inkling are going to be the two new characters. Neither of those characters would work as a great E3 announcement. I mean, I feel like most people at large aren't going to care that the Ice Climbers are back or that the Inklings just got in.
That's
fans
actually a really
will.
good point.
But yeah, those aren't good E3 announcements. You'd need like a big third-party character, again, like Mega Man or Cloud or something, to have that big Smash presence at E3. And as far as we know, the rumors have stated only 2 new characters. So...
Well, I agree with Ash's devil advocate, so...
Nice.
I think Nintendo, we've been talking mostly about the games, but I think Nintendo is actually going to show off the new central hub for the Switch, the main menu and all that stuff. But I don't know if Miiverse is going to return. I don't think so. Because it just doesn't seem like I've barely used it. I know people still use it for other things, but I think it's going to get replaced maybe with something else. Although I do think Mii's are going to still be there. I think Mii's will definitely stick around. Miiverse, I'm very unsure of, but I'm leaning towards no. But we'll show off the new central hub. As for how that central hub will look, I'm honestly not sure whether they're going to keep it sort of like PlayStation and Xbox, or they go more along the TV screens type stuff of the Wii U and the Wii. I can't decide.
I'll tell you right now, it will not look like PS4 or Xbox One. I don't think it will look distinctly Nintendo.
Yeah.
It will be, if anything, it will be closer to Wii and Wii U than anything else.
Yeah. I could see that. I would definitely lean that way.
I think I agree with you, Derek. I think Miiverse is going to be gone, and it's kind of like a mini prediction. On top of that, I think they're going to remove the Miiverse stage from Smash Switch. I think that's going to get cut.
It's so weird how that was one of the last stages they added to Smash Brothers Wii U, and now they just cut it afterwards.
I know. I mean, I want to think there's some sort of chance for Miiverse to survive, because what a beautiful, horrific experiment that was. It really is. It's social media as only Nintendo could do social media. It's a mess, but man, Smash just isn't Smash without being able to see, all those inappropriate gifts when you land a KO with a character. So
Game of Thrones
hopefully
spoilers.
it survives, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Another game I don't think is going to be shown on Thursday is Pokemon Stars. I don't think we're going to hear anything about it. I think Pokemon Sun and Moon are still too recent, and Nintendo doesn't want to undercut its own sales.
I mean, it might get a very slight tease, but I don't see anything beyond that. I don't expect any footage. I don't expect anything else. And I completely agree with you that we'll probably see nothing of it. Pokemon will be there, though, because I'm going to piggyback off yours, Ash, and say Detective Pikachu is going to be shown again, as well as probably Pokken Tournament port, featuring all the new DLC characters that the arcade got. So, but Detective Pikachu is the one to me where it's going to be, here's the next, either here's the first episode in English for everybody, or here's episode 2 for Japan, or hey, we're finished with the game completely. It's actually coming out as just one complete story rather than an episodic release. But something of Detective Pikachu is going to be shown.
No, I disagree. I don't think we'll see.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see. In fact, unless there's a brand new Pokemon game there, I'm not holding up for any Pokemon announcements at this event. Of any kind.
Well, sorry, let me be clear. I disagree with half of it. I don't think Detective Pikachu is going to be shown in any way, but I do think there's a chance we could see a Pokken port announced.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I disagree. Pokken Tournament, yes.
Yes.
But when it comes to Pokemon Stars or Detective Pikachu, I don't think so. I think Detective Pikachu is just kind of old news. I mean, it isn't, but you know what I mean. I feel like it's not exciting.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
Yeah.
I kind of touched on this earlier. I expect, though, there will be a new IP of some sort there that we haven't heard rumored yet. And it might be in the same vein as Wii Sports and Nintendo Land title, something that might appeal to people beyond their typical demographics. They've tried it the last 2 generations. Why wouldn't they try it again? And it could be something that blends itself well to the Switch's, the multiple ways of playing the Switch, with it being able to play at home or on the go. Maybe have something designed around that idea in mind, different multiplayer experiences depending on where you're playing it. There's any number of ways they could take that, but I feel like we will get something along those lines.
I'm going to disagree. I don't have a good reason for it. I just disagree.
Well, you're just a contrarian.
Yep.
I disagree on the grounds that it took a million years for Nintendo to come up with Splatoon after Pikmin and Chibi Robo. So that's really, I just don't see Nintendo coming up with another major new IP that quickly. But maybe they'll buck the trend and surprise everyone and actually announce something.
I wasn't talking Splatoon levels. I'm talking Wii Sports or Nintendo Land levels.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I still don't know if I think they'll announce new IP. I guess there's a chance, but I think I'm going to go with Derek on this one. I don't think it's going to happen.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have another one here.
for
It's slightly safe, but I think that both Skyrim and Just Dance are going to be launch titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't disagree with
I
that.
mean, it's like I said, kind of safe.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of dumb.
Actually, you know what? I might disagree with that. Just Dance, I can absolutely see. Skyrim, I'm not sure. I don't know if they want to go head-to-head against Zelda, assuming my other prediction is right with that being a launch title. So, I don't know. I can see that going either way. So to make this more interesting, I will say no. Skyrim will not be a launch title. It might come a few months later.
I see what you're saying about going against Zelda, but I don't know if they... I don't know. I mean, Zelda is so huge. I mean, people are so excited about it. This is one of the biggest games Nintendo has ever had in their entire history. I don't know if they're really all that worried about Skyrim.
Well, I'm
competing
more
with them.
Bethesda worried about Zelda.
Well, yeah,
that's
I
what I
guess. Oh, I thought you were talking about from Nintendo.
No,
Then,
Nintendo,
yeah.
Nintendo
God,
doesn't
no.
care. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was like, okay, then, yeah, I could see it from the opposite view. Sure, Bethesda may be like, no, no thanks. Yeah.
I mean, plus too, like, I feel like it wouldn't be great for Nintendo fans, just in that the perception Bethesda may have is like, well, we put out, Skyrim on Switch, but no one bought it. Why? Because we won't support Switch anymore, right?
Good point.
Yeah. Well, you talked about how the developers of Mother 3 were going to be there, but we also got a retweet from the wife of the president of Monolith Soft about the event, even though we don't know if they're going to be there or not. But going off of that, I think that Monolith Soft is going to tease their new game. In the same way that Xenoblade Chronicles X was teased for years, and before we got anything solid about it, but they're actually just going to show an Xenoblade Chronicles X port on the Switch for the lead up to that game. It feels like a safe prediction to me.
Yeah.
It's hard, because I had initially written down that I didn't think Xenoblade Chronicles X port was going to be shown at the event, but I'm kind of waffling on that. I could see them maybe teasing that, like you said, Derek, in kind of anticipation of their new game. I'm kind of in the middle on that. I could see Xenoblade not making an appearance at all, but I can also see the port making an appearance. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I really have no good prediction on that one, so I will defer to both of you and be right.
There we go. There you go.
Nice. I do think that the Mario and Rabbids RPG is real, and I think it's going to be a launch title. However, I don't think it's going to be called Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I don't think there's any way that Nintendo doesn't want to have the word Mario in that title somehow, especially as a launch title.
Oh, was the full title? It didn't have Mario.
Well, the rumored title was Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I think that's what there's like a logo floating around out there, and it could have been fake, but I don't. Either way, I don't think that's the name of the game, because I think they want to have the Mario brand name in that title somehow.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, here's the thing: if it is a launch title, that's 3 Mario games not 3, but 2 Mario games at launch between Mario Kart 8.
Well, I don't think Ash
Mario.
thought. Well, he didn't think Mario Kart would be a launch title, so.
I guess that is true.
Even if it is, though, those are 2 wildly different takes on Mario, and I feel like the 2 can coexist. Mm-hmm. But I just Rabbids Kingdom Battle, to me, that doesn't message. It just messages that it's a Rabbids game.
Yeah.
And that it might take place in a kingdom, and that there's a battle in said kingdom. It doesn't really say, hey, this is a cool Mario crossover with Rabbids, you know?
Yeah, it's a poor title, so I agree with you that that's not going to be the title. I don't buy that for a second. As far as for some reason, I can't see this game at launch. I really can't.
I can go either way on that. If I had to choose, I might say it could be launch. In fact, it might kind of be that new IP I was just talking about, even though it goes a little bit against what I said with us knowing about it in this case. But I think it's like goofy enough that it could exist at launch without really competing with anything else. And that's kind of time to like throw out a random experimentation, right? To see how, what works. People are going to be hungry for more games. So I could see it. I could see that being launched. As part of that, let me go ahead and go into my next prediction here, which is that the 3D Mario we saw will in fact be closer to 64 in style. I don't know how close. I'm not going to predict exactly. It will have co-op. It won't be launch. In fact, I don't think it'll be anywhere close to launch. I think that might be a Q4 title.
I completely agree, just because everything points toward Zelda being the launch title for the Switch. So they need a big Q4 title. Mario is going to be it.
Yep.
I agree with all that. My only point of divergence is I feel like 3D Mario could make it sooner, like possibly late summer. It might not be holiday, but possibly like, September or August or something like that. I feel like it's not that far off, and I feel like they might have something else to announce for the holidays.
Mm-hmm. It could be. Very well. It very well could be. So,
but I do agree that it's not going to be launch, and it won't be launch window. I think at the very earliest we'll see it late summer.
I'll just tie these two in together, even though they have really nothing in common. I don't think Retro's new game will be shown yet. I think that's being saved for probably E3, so I don't think they're going to make an appearance at all. However, I do think, based on all these rumors that we have been hearing, that a teaser for Beyond Good and Evil 2 will be shown.
Yep, I agree.
I think it'll be trailer only, though. I don't think it's going to be
no
a
gameplay,
playable demo.
Just a teaser. Seriously.
Yeah, and I don't know if this will come out at the event, but I have a feeling, and I'm going to predict that it's a timed exclusive. I don't think this is going to be a lifetime Switch exclusive. I think it'll eventually come to other platforms.
Yeah, that was one of the recent rumors.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I think we might get a Beyond Good and Evil 2 teaser. I don't think it may not even be actual gameplay. It may just be a teaser. And I don't expect to see that game for a while still. Like, I'll honestly be amazed if we see it in 2018. So
Yeah.
I predict that Laura Kate Dale is correct about the Switch Virtual Console, and that it'll obviously be shown, but the initial lineup is going to disappoint everybody, and it's going to suck. But then it'll eventually be filled out. But I don't expect the Switch Virtual Console to excite people at launch. I think the lineup's going to be kind of meh.
even with the rumored GameCube games.
Well, I'm not really considering GameCube in this. I'm really considering just classic Virtual Console. But I guess, yeah, I had GameCube listed as a separate prediction, but I guess we can fold it all in together. But I think, other than GameCube, I think the Switch Virtual Console, and by that I mean NES, Super NES, whatever, the launch lineup is going to be kind of disappointing. And I also think that Nintendo's not going to have an infrastructure in place for any sort of cross-buy or cross-play promotion. Like, I still think it's going to be that you pay an upgrade fee to, upgrade your Wii U Virtual Console games, but you still have to, buy games separately across all systems, which sucks, but that's what I think is going to be the case.
No, you're totally right. There is no way. Yeah. There is no way that they're going to have hey, you bought the system on the Wii U. Congratulations, you have it for the Switch now. It's not going to happen, and Nintendo's going to continue their policy of drip feeding these older games for people. We'll be lucky if we get Pokemon Snap again by the 4th year of the Switch.
Actually, I disagree with that, and the only reason is because we know that Nerd, or we think we know that Nerd, who made the better Virtual Consoles for the Wii U and also the NES Classic, are working on the Switch Virtual Console. I think they're leading the development of it. So, given that that's the case, I think we're going to see a better Virtual Console on Switch than we did on Wii U, and I think titles will come out faster, but I still think it's going to be disappointing at launch.
Yeah, I mean, that's so subjective. I think I will be happy with what they show off of Virtual Console, which is maybe going a little bit out there because their Virtual Console efforts have been pretty disappointing so far. But I do think they want to be. I think they want to impress at this event. I think just having GameCube games alone is, a great start. I do agree there won't be any kind of cross buys or free upgrades. You will have to pay to upgrade them from your existing system, if that's even an option. I'm not quite sure how they're going to port those over yet. I do think though this will finally be the point where you buy a game once and it's locked your account forever. I don't think they'll necessarily announce it here, but I think that will be what how it works from now on.
I hope so.
Yeah, seriously.
I hope you're right.
I've made it a point to not buy many Virtual Console games anymore just because the Wii U is ending. I'm like, well, I don't want to feel like upgrading again, so screw that.
Yeah.
I do think we will see NES through the Wii supported on the Virtual Console. Handhelds are a little harder. Except for, I think, if Mother 3 is a thing, the Game Boy Advance is definitely going to be supported on the Switch Virtual Console. Other old titles, maybe, we'll see. The other question is, are they going to go back to the, Wii U obviously didn't have this, but will they go back to the Wii where they had Genesis titles, Master System titles, what was the TurboGrafx 16 titles? I mean, the Switch, had a lot of different games they could emulate, and it's that did not happen for Wii U. So do you guys think they'll bring back those other systems?
I actually think so, because unless correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Japanese Wii U Virtual Console actually did get kind of a small smattering of other consoles like TurboGrafx 16 or something along those lines. I think they have more consoles in the Japanese Wii U Virtual Console than we do here.
I'm not sure.
I believe, but I could be wrong about that. But I do think maybe eventually we could see some other systems, but I think mostly they're going to keep it within the kind of Nintendo range and that we've seen with the Wii U.
Yeah, I don't really have any further thoughts on that. I think they'll continue to grow Virtual Console. So I think it'll be the best version they've ever had of it, which isn't saying much considering the Wii U's Virtual Console is a step down from what they had before.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I guess related to this, do we all agree that GameCube Virtual Console will be announced?
For sure. If not at the event, it's definitely coming, but I think it will be announced at the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, my next prediction, Pikmin 4 will be there. I really have nothing else to say about it, though. So, except for the fact I think, if I had to choose for a release period for this, I'm actually going to say Q4 as well for Pikmin 4. They released Pikmin 3 during the summer, and I'm not sure if that's the kind of game you want to maintain hype right after a console launch. So I'm thinking it'll come later in the year.
I actually think Pikmin 4 is going to be a launch window title. I think it'll be
Launch
shown
window.
at the event, and I think it'll be launch window, maybe
Like GameCube.
a few weeks after launch. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, maybe that might be a good April May title for it. Hard to say exactly when it'll come out. It's hard predicting when Nintendo's going to actually have something come out. But no, I agree with you, Andre, for the most part. I think that's a very likely thing to happen.
Okay, your next prediction.
My next prediction: Dragon Quest XI running on the Switch is going to be shown. That is a big title for the Japanese audience. They're making a big push recently to get Dragon Quest popular in the US. So I think that's going to be shown, and it's going to be a good meter to see how the Switch version compares to the PS4 version, which is the only one we've seen graphically yet. So I think that's going to be a very good point to show off how the Switch compares to the PS4 graphically. I don't think it's going to be quite as good, but I think it'll still be rather impressive.
I agree.
Well, okay, I'll actually hop on that real quick. So my prediction is graphics related. I think the first party games will look great across the board, much as they already do on Wii U. I think the third party games won't look as impressive as you think they will. I think that might be a big point of contention coming out of this event, and we'll see. But I have a feeling those are going to be the things that some people focus on, and I don't think it's going to be extremely favorable for Nintendo for the third-party games.
Maybe,
yeah.
But Square Enix has been known to get some power out of systems before, so I can definitely see at least Dragon Quest XI looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too. And I was actually going to say this for last, but I guess to piggyback off of that, this is kind of a bold prediction, but I think we're going to see some other Square presence there, and I kind of think we're going to get the Ff7 Remake announced for Switch.
Oh man!
I don't think it's going to get its own.
One.
I don't think it's going to get its own bit. I don't think they're going to have a new trailer or anything. But I think they might just say, hey, look at all these third-party games that are coming towards Switch, coming to Switch eventually. And I think the Ff7 Remake might be on there. I think there's more to Cloud being in Smash than just Cloud being in Smash. I think there's more to that.
So I agree and totally disagree. I agree. I think there is a good chance Final Fantasy VII could be here. But if they show it off in any capacity, it's going to be more than just throwing it up there and be like, "Yo, Final Fantasy VII Remake's on the way." They're going to have a new trailer for it. I think. How long has it been since we saw it last?
About a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess since last E3, and yeah, that's true. And if that's the other thing is that the Final Fantasy 30th anniversary event's coming up, and they're definitely showing the 7 Remake there. So if they have to show a trailer at the Switch event, then I don't think 7 Remake will be shown because why would they debut a new trailer at the Switch event? But I maybe not 7 Remake, but I just have a feeling we're going to see evidence of some Square titles, some big Square titles coming to Switch.
It may be possible that the Kingdom Hearts ports might end up on the Switch. Hard to say. They were initially designed for the PlayStation, so it's I can't say for sure, but it's totally possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have a feeling that we're going to see some Square Nintendo love here at the Switch event.
That'd be nice. That would be very cool to see. Who has another prediction? 'Cause I'm basically out.
I'm looking through, and I'm basically out too.
I have two more.
All right, go for it.
All right. I've been saying this for a while. I think Sonic Mania is going to be announced for Switch at the event. I mean, yeah. I don't think it's going to get its own trailer or its own even bit, but I think it'll just come out as part of the event that, hey, Sonic Mania is also coming to Switch.
See, now that game makes sense not to have a big thing dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Right. It does, yeah. But I 100% believe that's going to happen. And my last prediction is that we won't get any news on Mario Maker. I don't think Mario Maker is going to be shown in any capacity. I think it's coming later this year, toward the end of the year, but I don't think they're going to show it on Thursday.
No, I agree. I can't see that happening.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think it's definitely coming, but Yeah, for whatever reason, it doesn't feel like the right time for it. So.
And that was my last one.
So that was quite a few predictions, guys. I think we covered pretty much everything we possibly could. So how are you feeling right now? I know I asked at the start, but I want to get a hard number from you guys now. What is your hype at from 1 to 10 for the Switch event happening in almost no time at all?
I'm going to put myself at a 9. I have high hopes for this.
Is that higher or lower than you were last time? Do you remember?
I might have put myself at a 7.
Oh, so, wait, 7 before? Wow.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. I think I said 7 before. I'll put myself at a 9 now because we're finally here.
Yeah.
We have, it's gonna happen. It's, I should not have to deal with any more rumors up to this point because it's coming.
I think you just jinxed it.
Yeah, probably. But it's here. We're going to see some stuff. Whether or not it's actually going to meet my hype, that's up for debate. But as far as my actual hype, it is at a solid 9.
Okay, at the risk of playing myself, I'm going to go out and say that it's at a 10.
10?
I'm all in.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know. Something has clicked for me in the past couple of weeks where I am, like I said, my hype thrusters are at full throttle. I am going all in. Now, I may have succumbed too much to all of the rumors surrounding the Switch and how that there are going to be some new things announced that nobody's predicting. It's kind of hard to say how much is kind of the rumor stuff and how much is genuine confidence. But I feel like there's a confidence surrounding the Switch event and surrounding the Switch in general that Nintendo hasn't had since the Wii days. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're onto something. I feel like they believe in this much more than they ever did the Wii U. And that excitement is palpable. It's getting to me. And I believe that Nintendo believes in it. And that's why I'm so excited.
Now, when it clicked for you, did you hear the click from the Switch trailer?
No, but now I do. That's very nice.
Yeah. I will go. I would say my hype is at 9.2 right now. not quite 9.3. A little bit above 9, so 9.2. I'm excited. I'm really excited. We're as close as we've ever been, as we will be, 10 minutes from now and tomorrow and whatever else. But I'm really excited. I just want to see. There is a lot of mystery surrounding this event, and even the stuff we may or may not know about, like we don't know much about them. So I really am excited to see how it all shapes up, how it comes together. And you and I, Ash, we'll actually be going hands-on with it almost immediately after. So that too is something that's exciting, just to see how it feels in the hand. I also want to know how what it actually sounds like when you click it, right? That could be the first video we make. It's what does it sound like?
We'll have to hold our microphone right up to it as we're yeah.
That's why I'm bringing it.
I changed my mind. My hype for this event is out of 5 because you guys get to actually play.
I can't believe that we're going to be playing the Switch in a couple days, Andre.
Just rub it in, Derek, right after, or just rub it in, Ash.
Well, just to continue the current line of conversation. I'm the one who brought it up. But no, I wish all three of us could play, but either way, whether we're playing it or just hearing about it, I'm so excited for the floodgates to finally be open. Even if for those of us, who aren't lucky enough to go get to play it, it's still a really exciting time because all this new information is coming out. We're finally going to have the full story on the Switch and its launch, and it's so exciting.
It really is exciting. And then it'll be coming out just 2 months after that. There is less of a gap from this event to the launch, I think almost no matter when the launch is in March, than there was from the initial reveal to now. So,
yep.
Yeah, it'll fly by, I think.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts about anything we covered or didn't cover, or are we done here?
I think I'm done.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right. What an anticlimactic way of going out on this. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you liked our predictions piece, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. You can find links to them in the description below. It's a good way to keep updated on everything we post. And of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for lots more on the Switch. I mean, lots more, and other things gaming as well. Catch you later. Bye.